all you wonderful bookworms. I know you're working hard at home. Mrs. White tells me about all the wonderful things you're doing. So keep up the good work. I'm really proud of you. And I'm down to my last two Eric Carle books. Can you believe it? We had a lot of books, and he wrote even more that I can't find anymore. But the first one is kind of a science lesson. It's called The Tiny Seed, and it actually follows the whole life of a seed. When you think about it, a seed does give growth to living plants, so it's kind of a living thing as well. So the tiny seed, what a beautiful picture. Isn't that beautiful of the flower? They all should look that beautiful. Sorry, I'm going to try to fit this. When they're paperback books, they don't sit so well for me. It is autumn, which you know it is still autumn here. We haven't hit winter yet. Winter is December 21, and that's not here yet. A strong wind is blowing. It blows flower seeds high in the air and carries them far across the land. One of the seeds is tiny, smaller than any of the others. Will it be able to keep up with the others? And where are they all going? And you can see the tiny seed right there, not as big as the other seeds that are traveling through the wind. One of the seeds flies higher than all the others. Up it goes. It flies too high, and the sun's hot rays burn it up. There's the seed. But the tiny seed sails on with the others. The tiny seed's way over here. You can see that. So don't get near the hot sun. Another seed lands on a tall and icy mountain. Here it is over here. The ice never melts, and the seed cannot grow. Seeds can't grow on ice. The rest of the seeds fly on, but the tiny seed does not go as fast as the others. Here's the tiny seed, following all the other seeds, but not keeping up as well exactly. Now they fly over the ocean. One seed falls into the water and drowns. The others sail on with the wind, but the tiny seed does not go as high as the others. There's that tiny seed again, not traveling quite as high. So we lost one in the ocean. We lost one in the sun. We lost one on an icy mountain. One seed drifts down onto the desert. It's hot and dry, and the seed cannot grow there. Here it is. Now the tiny seed is flying very low, but the wind pushes it on with the others. There's our tiny seed trying to keep up with the other seeds. Think of all the places it could land. Finally, the wind stops, and the seeds fall gently down on the ground. A bird comes by and eats one seed. You know they love to eat seeds. The tiny seed is not eaten. It's so small that the bird doesn't see it. The tiny seed is sitting on top of the grass here. If you get this book from the library, you'll be able to see it much closer. I know it's hard. Pretty bird. Now it is winter. After their long trip, the seeds settle down. They look just as if they're going to go sleep in the earth. Snow falls and covers them like a soft white blanket. A hungry mouse that also lives in the ground eats a seed for his lunch. But the tiny seed lies very still, and the mouse does not see it. I believe this is the tiny seed right here. The mouse doesn't see it, so it survives. Now it is spring. After a few months, the snow has melted. It's really spring. Birds fly by, the sun shines, rain falls. The seeds grow so round and full, they start to burst open a little. Now they are not seeds anymore. They are plants. You can see the plants down here. First, they send roots down in deep into the earth. You can see their roots at the bottom. Then their little stems and leaves begin to grow up toward the sun and air. There's another plant that grows much faster than the new little plants. It's a big fat weed. We know we don't want those. And it takes all of the sunlight and the rain away from one of the small new plants, and that little plant dies right here because the weed indeed is taking all the sun and all the water. The tiny seed hasn't begun to grow yet. Oh, book, stay still. The tiny seed hasn't begun to grow yet. It will be too late. Hurry! But finally it too starts to grow into a plant. I believe this is the tiny seed here because it's starting to grow into a small plant. The warm weather also brings the children out to play. They've been waiting for the sun in springtime. One child doesn't see the plants as he runs along and, oh, he breaks and now it cannot grow anymore. Big foot landed right on it. Seems like we've seen a foot before in one of Eric Carl's books. He doesn't see the plants, he can't help it. He didn't mean to break that one. The tiny plant that grew from the tiny seed is growing fast, but its neighbor is growing even faster. Here's our tiny seed plant. Here's the neighboring plant. Before the tiny plant has even 3 leaves, the other plant has 7. And look, a bud, and now even a flower. But what's happening? First there are footsteps, then a shadow looms over them, then a hand reaches down and breaks off the flower. And we do that sometimes, don't we? A boy has picked the flower to give to a friend. Which is a sweet thing, but that's the end of our plant maybe, huh? It is summer. Now the tiny plant from the tiny seed is all alone. It grows on and on. It doesn't stop. The sun shines on it and the rain waters it. It has many leaves. It grows taller and taller. It's taller than the people. It's taller than the trees. It is taller than the houses. And now a flower grows on it. People come from far and near to look at this flower. It's the tallest flower they have ever seen. It is a giant flower. Certainly way taller than everybody else. My goodness. All summer long, the birds and the bees and the butterflies come visiting. They have never seen such a big and beautiful flower. It certainly is. Now it is autumn again. We've gone through an entire year. The days grow shorter, the nights grow cooler, and the wind carries yellow and red leaves past the flower. Some of the petals drop from the giant flower, and they sail along with the bright leaves over the land and down to the ground. So our flower is starting to lose a few petals from that tiny seed grew that. The wind blows harder. The flower has lost almost all of its petals. It sways and bends away from the wind, but the wind grows stronger and shakes the flower. Once more, the wind shakes the flower, and this time the flower's seed pod opens. In the center of the flower is a seed pod. Out come many tiny seeds that quickly sail far away on the wind. We've come full circle around to now we're back to small seeds, and that's the end of our story. Those seeds all came from the pod of this flower, which came from the seed, the tiny little seed that Eric Carle talks about. That's a beautiful story, beautiful pictures, as usual. My last book is probably my favorite. I think I said Hungry Caterpillar was my favorite, but this might be a tie. The Very Quiet Cricket. Now, even though I'm not a great lover of crickets, and if they're in my house, if they're outside, that's fine. But on a fall night, you can hear them chirping a lot, can't you? Not in my house so much, but the very quiet cricket sounds like something different is happening with this cricket. And Eric Carle starts the book to tell you some facts about crickets, things I didn't know when I read it, that there are 4,000 different kinds of crickets. Imagine that, 4,000? Some live underground, others above. Some live in shrubs or trees, and some even live in water. Both male and female crickets can hear. So the boy and the girl crickets can hear, but only the male can make a sound. Only the boys can make the sounds. By rubbing his wings together, he chirps. Some people say it sounds like a song. So Eric Carle created a story about the very quiet cricket. It's kind of a pattern book, as he does a lot. Things happen repeatedly with different creatures. One warm day, from a tiny egg, a little cricket was born. "Welcome," chirped a big cricket, rubbing his wings together. The little cricket wanted to answer, so he rubbed his wings together, but nothing happened, not a sound. "Good morning," whizzed a locust, spinning through the air. The little cricket wanted to answer, so he rubbed his wings together. But nothing happened, not a sound. I've never seen a locust picture up close ever. He draws these creatures beautifully. Hello, whispered a praying mantis, scraping its huge front legs together. The little cricket wanted to answer, so he rubbed his wings together. But nothing happened, not a sound. He wants to be friendly. He wants to speak to all of his creatures in his world. Good day, crunched a worm, munching its way out of an apple. The little cricket wanted to answer, so he rubbed his wings together. But nothing happened, not a sound. Hi, bubbled a spittlebug, slurping in a sea of froth. The little cricket wanted to answer, so he rubbed his wings together, but nothing happened, not a sound. Never heard of a spittlebug before, have you? Spittlebug. Good afternoon, screeched a cicada, clinging to a branch of a tree. The little cricket wanted to answer, so he rubbed his wings together, but nothing happened, not a sound. How are you? Hummed a bumblebee, flying from flower to flower. The little cricket wanted to answer, so he rubbed his wings together, but nothing happened, not a sound. Good evening, roared a dragonfly, gliding above the water. The little cricket wanted to answer, so he rubbed his wings together, but nothing happened, not a sound. Beautiful dragonfly, too. Good night, buzzed the mosquitoes, dancing among the stars. The little cricket wanted to answer, so he rubbed his wings together, but nothing happened, not a sound. Is he growing older through the book, too, a little bit? A luna moth sailed quietly through the night, and the cricket enjoyed the stillness. Beautiful, beautiful creature. He didn't try to answer her. As the luna moth disappeared silently in the distance, the cricket saw another cricket. She, too, was a very quiet cricket. Then he rubbed his wings together one more time. And this time, listen closely. He chirped the most beautiful sound that she had ever heard. I hope you can hear that. I can't make it any louder, but he finally made a beautiful sound. Why do you think that finally happened? I wonder why it finally happened. Did she have anything to do with it? Isn't it wonderful the way this book, Eric Carle makes books like that? I think I told you the click beetle one. This one's working because it's brand new. Let me hear it again. And Eric Carle even writes a note and says, I hope you've enjoyed this story, but close the book now so your cricket's chirp will have a long life. Just like anything that works by a battery. If you left it open all the time, the chirp would go away. We'll just do it one more time. Listen. Sounds exactly like the crickets I hear in my yard sometimes, which are okay in my yard. I would like you to do one thing for me and for Mrs. White in your blue journal. Would you write me one sentence telling me what the problem was in the story? What was the cricket's problem in this story? Because you talk about problems, and the cricket is the main character, of course, in the story. Just put one sentence about what his problem was, okay? Take care. Have a great week. See you soon. Bye.